Hey guys, it's Rod from Huntington Company, and this is another episode of a Curated Collection where we take a look at the watches being released this week over at huntingtoncompany.com in the Vintage Watch Shop. And this week I curated a collection mainly of some dressier pieces that are perfect for the holiday season, including an ultra-thin Audemars Piguet. So let's get into it. The Rolex 5513 is the last of the vintage Submariner era. So this example with its custard tritium dial, hands, and pip at 12 is a great example of maybe even the last 4-digit no-date sub that could still be had at an affordable price. To give some more information on the 5513, an example that was in production from 1962 to 1990. This example is from 1987, so the tail end of production with an updated bracelet compared to the first generation. And its two-lined gloss dial. This example features its original bezel, hands, and dial, and a sharp case, even after being worn and loved for 35 years. Now the polar opposite when it comes to the watch world. An ultra-slim, manual wound, holy trinity, solid gold Audemars Piguet. This example is an 18-karat yellow gold, beautiful champagne dial. And no, it's nothing like the 5513. This is small and delicate, but not delicate in the way you would think. See, this is delicate in the way it looks, but this example is dated to the early or mid 90s, which means that this example also has a buttery smooth manual movement by AP that you would think is broken when you wound it. It also features a sapphire crystal to give it that crisp look and really see and understand the stunning brush dial. Yes, this watch is small, but man, does it still have a presence on the wrist when you wear it. Here's a watch by Bulova that has so many random features that it actually drew me to its design. A watch with a pod-like cushioned case, a fluted bezel, a separate blue bezel, and a bullseye dial. So let's start with what stands out. This looks like a Bulova dive watch, but you find a fluted bezel around the dial. And in between that fluted bezel and dial, you find a deep blue inner ring, just for looks. Then we look at the dial itself. A blue bullseye dial with so much character even though there's not much to it. Its tritium lume sticks out on the applied hour markers and the date window is surrounded by a white border. All these random attributes for a watch that you wouldn't think would work together, Bulova chose to put it into one watch, and man, is this sweet. I can't exactly tell you what I would wear with this, but that's what makes it so special. I would probably throw on a simple light gray crew neck, some jeans, and a pair of Vans and put this on for a quick errand run. But somebody else might see this and choose to wear it with a navy button-up and a pair of loafers just to give their outfit a bit of pop, and that's pretty cool. So no matter what you wear with this watch, it is like no other when it comes to vintage affordable pieces like Bulova. And a quick and final note for this beautiful Bulova, engraved on the case back is a glimpse of its previous life, stating "Love, Mom and Dad," and stamped 1974. And Hamilton, a brand that in my opinion has come out with some of the coolest watches in the vintage market, and that not a lot of people talk about, especially from the 1940s and 50s. In my opinion, their dress watches from this era are the best alternatives if you want to scratch that Patek itch, but not spend Patek money. And here is the perfect example, the Hamilton Secron. This gold case and cream patina dial was meant to be worn by a doctor, because of its ease to see the second hand separately to use as a timer for smaller intervals, not like a watch with a centered seconds hand. And a bit more information on this watch. A 14-karat gold-filled case, blued hands, and dial that has so much character because of its patina and cathedral font. The Secron was once a doctor's tool watch, but now with a shift in our culture and style, with its Art Deco stepped case, we get to wear and enjoy it as a dress piece, but appreciate it for what it once was. And I promise you, if you wear it to this year's holiday party, you will get more conversations started from this than the guy wearing his Piguet Calatrava because of its rich history. Yes, this is a Raymond Well, and I never thought I'd own one or even put one in the vintage watch shop, and it kind of surprised me when it comes to the vintage watch world compared to what Raymond Well is now. Almost like seeing a vintage Invicta chronograph that has the charm and craftsmanship that Invicta doesn't have now. But don't get me wrong, Raymond Well makes some great Swiss-made watches, but I see them as small watches, and I think most of us do. But we look at this vintage Raymond Well. Swiss-made in a Cartier tank-style case, but that's all it takes from Cartier. This piece has its own identity. A squared-off dial with 4 sectors with a spider-like effect that can only be seen in certain light. In the red, it's almost like a fire or an LED hue shown into the corners, outlined by a gold strip. And seen in the other corners are black squares with the Raymond Well Geneve seen in the bottom corner. The case resembles a Cartier tank, but not really, because of the spiral-like design coming down each side. This Raymond Well is the reference 651, and I had to get it into the watch shop not only because of how cool it looked, but also because of how rare it was. Searching up this reference, I couldn't find much information, and a handful of examples have ever seen the public's eye, and I think that's pretty cool. And then there's simplicity in the watch world, but that does not mean boring when it comes to this piece. A world-famous oyster case, the Rolex logo, and an effortless silver Air King dial. Here you have the reference 14,000, and an earlier model at that when it comes to this model because of the tritium dial. The story of the Air King is not talked about much, but is still a cool story nonetheless. And here's why. See, for Rolex to make a watch that pays homage to the pioneers of aviation, but to make it almost an oxymoron, because when you look at this, you would not think it is a pilot's or aviation watch because of its simple style. The Air King was released in the 1930s and is still in production now with their 6-digit references. But what I love is the reference 14,000. A 34mm case and a beautiful warm silver dial. This example also comes with its original box and papers. And I said it earlier, yes, this watch is effortless. And if you're looking for something unpretentious to enjoy, but still have that Rolex name, the Air King becomes the perfect watch. An automatic movement, oyster case, smooth bezel, and its oyster bracelet makes this the watch to wear on any day of the week. So those were the 6 watches that were released this week, and I hope you guys loved each and every one of them. And if any of them caught your eye to add into your personal collection, please feel free to reach out by email or on Instagram, and you can also check out more photos over at huntingtoncompany.com. That was it for this week. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next one.